Hello, YouTube. How you guys doing? It is EB here, bringing you guys a new H1Z1 video. Today's video, it's a little bit of a gameplay, a little bit of a tips and trick for you beginner players out there. Now, intermediate, uh, very good players, not me. I'm not very good at the game yet, but I just figured to pass along some tips, tricks, some basic pointers for you new players out there. I could have used this when I first started, so I'm just going to pass along some information for you newcomers. Now, before you even get loaded into the game, I highly recommend you opening up your Steam app itself, finding your H1Z1 game within Steam. Then you're going to want to go to Properties, and then you're going to want to find the the browse the local files, go to user options, and what I'm having you guys do is you're going to see I'm changing or adding something into the general spot, which is toggle zoom. Default settings in this game to zoom in, it's right on the mouse, like when you're clicking it in. And in order for it to stay zoomed in, if you want it, like when you click it and it stays in, you're just going to want to add zoom toggle equals 1. If you prefer the hold, like the hold to zoom in, click, whatever, you don't have to change it. That's just my first tip. It's very helpful if you guys want to do that. Now, when we're loading up the game, just to go over a couple of the settings that I have here. When it comes to sensitivity, by all means, choose something that you're comfortable with. But a lot of players, you will see, the lower the sensitivity, the easier it is to control your aim. Now, I mean, it seems kind of different if you're coming from like a Battlefield or a console or a Call of Duty game where higher sensitivity players usually win those gunfights. In this game, it's complete opposite. As you can see, my settings, I think I play on 3% is my aim, and you just want to keep it low, in my opinion. It's going to help your aim out. It's going to help you control the guns and everything. So that's just that little tip for you guys. Some other things that come in handy when learning this game right away is learning all the shortcut keys and remapping some of your keys. Some of the default ones that you have aren't very good, in my opinion. I think when you start off the game, to just pick things up is F, and you want to remap that to E. Trust me, it's going to make everything a lot easier. And then just learning all the simple stuff, how to heal yourself, how to crouch, how to lay down. This is my very first computer game ever, so I'm still in the process of learning that. Everything, it takes a little while just to get somewhat decent at it. I still don't consider myself that good at all, but now when we're in the loading screen of the game, just some little things that I do to help me out. Here are just some items that I always shred and drop before the game. I always drop my shoes because you're always going to want to pick up the yellow shoes that are in the map because those make you run faster. I always shred my hat, my gloves, the little thing over my face, just because when you do that, then you can make more bandages, which will help you when you're getting shot and bleeding out. And then I always drop my binoculars just because I don't really use those, and dropping those is going to always give you room to carry more items. So there's that. Next thing we can talk about is being able to read the map. Pulling up the map, you just use the M button, and then the little red square is basically the indication of where you're located on the map. And then as you guys can see, after a certain amount of time, gas starts moving on the map. You just want to look at the compass and make sure you're running in the right direction. You don't want to get caught in the gas because then you start losing health. The further you last in the game, the more damage the poison or the gas does to you. So you're going to always want to make sure you have extra med kits and bandages. And then when we're talking about that kind of stuff, the proper way to loot. Now, when looting, I find it very easy to, first thing, right when you get in the map, you're going to be landing around people. Grab guns that you can, that you're most comfortable with. Now, if I see an AK or an AR, the first thing I'm picking up is an AR because AR is more consistent than the AK. It's easier to handle, doesn't do as damage, but you can shoot it faster. And I just think that's a better weapon of choice. But if you have to pick up a pistol, Magnum is the most OP gun in the game because you can take out cars with it. And if you get them in the head, they're going to die pretty quickly. When it also comes to looting, make sure you know the difference between, there's different types of backpacks. There's just regular ones, and there's darker blue ones, which are military backpacks. You want to pick those up. You can carry more items with those. Shoes, really ones you want to pick up are the yellow ones. Don't pick up the Timberlands. They look cool, but they don't do much for you. Avoid the hatchets and the machetes, and just stick to your ARs and shotguns. Grenades down the line once you start getting used to everything. And you can pick up shirts to shred those materials to get more bandages. And make sure you are looking at the crafting page, because you're going to want to learn how to make yourself armor. All you have to do to that is to find an extra military backpack, a roll of duct tape, and then shred one of your helmets. When you do that, put it together, you're going to get yourself some armor. And then the last tip I have for you guys is when you're finding gunfights, when you're new to the game, you're not sure how everything quite works, make sure you're picking out your gunfights to your advantage. Like if you're behind a rock or behind a tree, or if you're out in the open, make sure you find yourself some cover and don't just rush at someone. What I try and do is when I start hearing gunfights, I always try and get cleanup kills. That's going to help me build up my kills myself. I don't know, just going after people that are weaker, it's going to help you out to last longer in the game. And as always, aim high. Don't forget to shoot at the head. Two-tapping people from across the world is quite satisfying. So those are my basic tips for you guys today. If you guys do enjoy these tips, or if you want more tips on like my settings and everything, make sure you leave a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow. And as always, this is EB, and I'm signing out. See ya.